Thank you for joining me, RecyclaBenny, on the Benny Show. Enjoy the rain. Been making some rainy day notebooks today. Particularly proud of this one, because I was able to keep all the fun and games intact. And then just got a Benny's dozen worth of pages of stuff to write in, because I can never make it all the way through a composition notebook. But I really love the style and paper, so we have that. Same with light. Try to preserve the games in the back. Golden Grams is just kind of remembering the 80s, and so I preserve the crud for nostalgia. Honey Nut Cheerios fit these really well, and then the Kix Box one, which I'm going to show you what I make right now. I was able to keep the entire Kix Ball port in play as well. And I want to finish this one. The last little bit. Make the corners a little rounder. Isn't that nice? Isn't that special? So, here's what you're gonna do. Here's what you're gonna do. I'll show you on, I'll make me one. I always keep the Cheerios box ones, these are my favorite. Very clear workstation. You're gonna need, it's easier if you have an X-Acto knife or a box cutter. You can get a stapler like this on Amazon, a LongNeck Stapler. This one's kind of on the cheaper end. The more industrial strength you can get, the better. But they're spendy. So I got the cheapest one available. I forget how much I paid for it, but it works for, it will go through the cardboard, and I got it down to about 3 sheets without a problem. And that's 3 sheets at front and back is up to 12 pages. That's what I mean by heavy stuff. So, we'll do another video on rendering the sheets. Today we're just gonna, this is after you rendered your composition notebook paper. And it's storming out here. I love it. Great. First thing I'm gonna do is lop off all the floppy edges. Excellent. Next, I'm going to lay the paper out and get a general idea of where it sits. Again, I've made a lot of the Cheerios ones, so I kind of have an idea. But this one I want to include the entire logo, so I'm going to lop it off into the general nose. Twice the cut, but that's okay. You can get these angles at Dollar Tree. Incredibly useful. Just a right angled ruler. And be careful. Might have to go over a couple of times. Okay. save the nutrition facts portion for something I'll show you later. Another RecyclaBenny. I have a neighbor next door who's gonna help me get a stamp, and I'm gonna just make little business cards on nutrition facts for things like that. Because it's funny. Funny to me, anyway. All right. Got your paper, the crease that you're working with. So this is the important thing to remember. You want to line it up on the crease. And I have multiple size binder clips. I'm trying to use the biggest one possible. This covers a lot of surface area. But get it aligned the way that you want. What you think will be most beneficial. And then clamp it. Beverly Hillbilly, you want to make sure that you flip it over so that when you put the staples in, the hooks are now in the center seam. I made the mistake of stapling it this way first, and I had like the prickly hooks on the outside. And if you end up doing that, that's fine too. You can always just do an extra spine cover of masking tape or whatever you have. But yeah. Back to it. So I have it lined up and clipped. And the first staple I'm going to put in is on the bottom seam. Just to again keep the paper in place. And then typically once I have the second staple in, see, I'm glad that happened so I can show you how to read it. Once you have the second staple in, I remove the clip, it's the top seam. Now sometimes this is going to happen. You're going to have a wonky staple. You can tell it was placed out wrong. That's what I mean by the more industrial you get, the more like thicker projects you can work with. Heavier grade paper, construction paper, cardboard, what have you. But again, these are just cheap little projects, so cheap little stapler. I just used, I'm not sure what this tool is for. I took it from my father. It's been incredibly useful. It's got one flat end, one pointy end, and just popping out the staple. I'm going to close my knife because I don't need it right now. No reason having that present danger out. And then I'm just going to try to line it right back up with the first holes that I made. So that hopefully, yep, the second time runs true. And then the last thing that I like to do is round out the corners. And you can put a clamp on if you're trying to make it nicey nice, which I will. And I find that less is more with that. The more I fuss with it, the worse it looks. Great. So now, if you're going into school or you got kids going into school and you're sick of buying 9 spiral notebooks with different subjects that they end up only using a few of, and you end up throwing away or recycling a lot of paper at the end of the year, next time go to your local stationery supplier. You can get one composition notebook, take out the stitching from the center seam. You can find the center seam just by going to the middle. If you take a little X-Acto knife, you can take out one edge, or what I like to do is peel it back and cut along the spine. Then you can use the jacket, reuse it, staple it right back in with fewer pages. Still get to use this notebook, but then you can make so many more. So now I have a Benny dozen pages of fun to fill in my Cheerios notebook.